The views, takes and opinions expressed on this show are of the host's own and do not represent the views, takes and opinions of the Main Event Mark, PWPH Wrestling Network and its affiliates. Material and sources mentioned in this episode is for general and commentary purposes only. This episode might include strong language and may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Stay safe and stay wrestle everyone. Welcome to the Main Event Mark.
So welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. This is the Main Event Mark Podcast. So basically, we are continuing our series of episodes this week for this podcast. So, marami tayong pag-uusapan and kagaya nga ng sinabi ko doon sa previous episode, as I reviewed Backlash, that I didn't like the whole pacing of the PLE of that show, but it feels makes sense kasi we are on the right direction on how the matches should be directed next, or kung paano tayo dapat mag-book sa mga susunod na araw, or kung ano man ang dapat natin na ipakita for the next couple of days. But it doesn't mean that everything that they're going to book is really a good thing, no? Para lang klaro sa ating mga listeners, I reviewed Backlash France last year and I really love it. I really love Backlash France. Despite of it being a WrestleMania or post-WrestleMania show, I find it better than WrestleMania itself, or T. Crowd is one thing, no? Crowd is one thing, and the other thing, we have these factors that's going on when it comes to how we are going to book this thing, on how we should get the conceptualization or ipagko-concept ba? Nagkamali na naman ako ng words dito. Yung pagko-concept or conceptualizations ng mga bagay na hindi natin inaasahan when it comes to this booking. So, I'm here today on the main event. We're going to continue with that as we are reviewing SmackDown on Saturday. That's after Backlash France. And as we speak, they're now making Money in the Bank matches for June 7th. They're building also the show prior to that. So that's the Worlds Collide, and we are getting details on that in the next couple of days. And also, to emphasize na din that people are understanding the point of this show, since it's a very important PLE for us na kailangan natin ito bigyan ng punto. Kasi kung hindi natin ito bibigyan ng punto, so where in the fuck are we going to lean in when it comes to this stories that we are getting and we are about to get in? Especially Money in the Bank is a Big 5 PLE. Alahanin nyo, pag Big 5, expect the unexpected. We have also the Saturday night's main event formation, and magbibuild tayo doon, no? And siguro i-predict na nga rin natin yung SNME, since ito na rin yung kailangan natin i-tackle later on, and para na rin siguro mag-conceptualize yung mga thoughts that we're going to give. So mag-predict na ako, i-predict ko na lang siguro yung mga mangyayari sa susunod na araw, kasi SNME is on Sunday Manila time. Tapos i-predict na lang din natin dun sa live stream, kagaya ng announce ko nung previous episode, that I am going to have a live stream on Friday. I know AEW is very notorious on changing their shit last minute. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that here on today's episode, and I'll save it on the next live stream. So, mag-episode tayo doon, i-release natin yun as audio. Simple. Okay. So, itong episode na to, ang premise na to dapat is an AEW talk. since I have a lot of things to say when it comes to the Anarchy in the Arena. And yes, this is not only applicable to Anarchy in the Arena. Kung hindi, applicable din to on how WWE is building war games, how WWE is building these matches like the Elimination Chamber. Yes, I get the Elimination Chamber. That's because of it's synonymous sa Road to WrestleMania. So, I get that. Pero yung mga Steel Cage, Hell in a Cell, ganun lang din yan eh. And we will talk about one Hell in a Cell match that's going to be made official for SNME as well. Saturday night's main event. So, before we continue, good afternoon. This is Angelo from the Main Event Mark Podcast. Thank you very much for listening on this episode today as we speak. So, we're going to talk about Backlash. Backlash on the previous episode, and now we're going to talk about the Fallout. So, let's start with the Family Feud that we are getting. This is not a game show. Wala dito si Ding Dong. So, I'm not gonna tackle that one. Just bear with me here. I'm just going to try to adjust my mic para lang hindi siya gumalaw. Ayun. So, we have here Solo Sikoa, JC. So, hindi na siya Jeff Cobb. So, it's JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu. So, they made the segment. And then, Jacob welcomed JC to the segment. And then, he was credited that he has a factor to retain the US title. Because he provoked Jacob Fatu on this. And then, so, parang nandun na ulit tayo sa part na I love you Zolo, I love you Zolo. And then, ito na yung parang kinukumit ni WWE. WWE is now committing on building Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Since wala na rin bloodline, so, ano pa ang sense ng pagpapakita nitong storyline sa to? Wala nang sense mag-bloodline ngayon. Diba? See, that's the case. Pero, let's continue. I know it's very odd din na i-observe natin ng mabuti. Kasi never natin na kuha si Jeff Cobb before this PLE sa Backlash, no? Hindi natin nakuha si Jeff Cobb or never natin na kita si Jeff Cobb sa WWE before this show. And now, he's in our hands. He's basically a stooge of Solo. And then now, we're resolving a stuff or an issue that needs to be resolved. Kung hindi naman ito magli-lead sa isang Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu match, then everything that we're talking about is pointless, or everything that they're telling us is pointless. But it's obviously that's the direction that they wanted to go in. So, may sense yung pagkwento nila about JC. Jeff Cobb, it's JC, man. Back sakes, man. But I'm still trying to go to JC kasi yun yung JC name niya eh. Pero they're now committing into that. So, there's a lot of things to unpack when it comes to this, since Solo Sikoa won his three-way to qualify himself to the Money in the Bank. We will talk about that shortly. Pero, let's move on muna for the women. So, Alexa Bliss versus Michin versus Chelsea Green. On this match, personally, okay ako dito. I am okay with this. Chelsea got his moment or her moment last year. Michin kaya lang, medyo may problema lang ako kay Michin. Michin never got her moment after of that match kay Chelsea Green sa Saturday night's main event last year, no? Pero ito parang iba yung pakiramdam ko eh. are now trying to give an impression to Alexa Bliss that we are going to book you better than what you got before, just stay with us. So parang ganito yung nagiging modus. And I'm not saying that it's a modus talaga, pero we are leaning into that in an obvious way. I'm not saying I don't like Alexa Bliss. I like Lexi. I like her as a character. I like her as a real life wrestler, superstar. But I don't think she deserves it. I don't think so. I'm sorry I have to tell you guys in this phase, because she won already 2018. One of the factors why I don't like it. Ako kasi parang ano ang pakiramdam para bigyan natin ng protection or push si Alexa Bliss? Wala. Minion is working her ass off since last year. And then, itong kare-return lang, no offense to Alexa, is getting her title shot. And I feel bad for Minion. Like, good lord. Sobrang gusto ko to si Minion, sa alam nyo ba? I really love Minion. Pero kasi iba yung pakiramdam ko when we got the information that Alexa Bliss is actually winning the whole thing with this match sa 3-way. Chelsea Green, medyo given na sa akin that she is not going to win her match because she is still on the focus on the US title kay Zelina Vega. And Zelina Vega is competing on a match against Charlotte Flair and Julia, the newest women's wrestler on SmackDown. And it's kind of dumb to me that we have to see Zelina Vega competing again on the programming just for the qualification for the title shot. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes a point. I don't think either that we should sacrifice our champion for that. If Charlotte wins, then we're fucked. Charlotte might win the whole thing. Pero wala pa kasi tayong details on who will compete sa Raw. So it might be released after or as we are recording, at least kung kailan natin ito drop. Pero as we know it, wala pa tayong release details on who will compete on the respective matches over on Raw. Pero ako kasi, as we trying to tackle this matches, so normally it should be 3 Raw, 3 SmackDown superstars who will compete on their respective Money in the Bank ladder matches. Pero ang nangyari kasi last year, Drew obviously lost his title shot thanks to CM Punk. Thanks to his obsession with CM Punk, he lost his title shot. So that's more on being used as a plot device. And then now, Tiffany won, cashed in on Nia. She is the champion as we speak. And again, same with the Christian thing during Dynasty or Revolution, whatever that means. I don't want the Money in the Bank briefcase to be used as a plot device again. We already did that on last year. I don't want to see that this year, especially with Solo, Sikoa might winning the whole thing. There's another looming of chances that Solo might done it again, that he is just going to use the briefcase as a plot device to progress their feud with Jacob Fatu. And I am kind of worried about that kasi ito na naman tayo sa paggamit ng Money in the Bank as a plot device. Especially ngayon, walang King and Queen of the Ring. So, it's kinda butas na naman. It's kinda butas na naman yung concept ng Money in the Bank, at butas na naman din yung booking. So, kung paano tayo mag-set ng bookings when it comes to wrestling ngayon, parang nabutas na naman thanks to Money in the Bank. As we are noticing details when it comes to this PLE, wala pa rin talagang revealed details on who will compete on the women's side sa Raw. But we will give you more updates on that as soon as we have it. Fraction versus DIY. If you will agree with me, this match was a really good match. Sobrang ganda ng pacing and sobrang ganda ng progression nitong match na to. This is not a contenders match, but Profits gave they gave Fraction a title shot for next week. Tapos pero parang may mali. Napansin ko 'yan, parang may mali. Kasi it's being noticeable to me. And then parang ang labo din sa akin nung part na to, especially with Ciampa and like what the fuck. Nawala talaga yung mystique ni Ciampa sa run na to so far. And then isa pang noticeable detail is, balik nga tayo kay JC Mateo. Si JC Mateo, ang weird to me that they are acknowledging Ricky Saints. Nung nag-debut siya, hindi siya na-acknowledge as Ricky Starks. But here, we got this change. SmackDown na to on the spot. Parang it's kind of labo. Parang confirmation. It's also a confusion that was given to us in a bad decision way or a bad way. So that's why I find it nuts that it doesn't make sense that we're getting this shit, we're getting this stuff, tapos suddenly they're just going to change Jacob's name or putang na mawala ako. They changed Jacob's name all of the sudden. So that's why I don't like it, and I'm still not gonna like it because I know the JC Mateo is very Pinoy, very Pinoy. Alam nyo, it's very Pinoy, pero kung ano yung nag-work, di na nila pinalatan. We know him as Jacob. I hope it can continue, no? So yung ginawa nila is mala Ricky Saints, so that's why it's terrible. Then we have R-Truth being interviewed for what happened sa SNME press con or main event press con ng Backlash. And then he are being informed that he will face John Cena in a match at Saturday night's main event. There's no indication and stated information that Cena will defend the title over R-Truth. Wala ring information doon. So, okay, naseseryoso ko si R-Truth. I'm trying to take him seriously. Pero, sobrang goofy talaga ni R-Truth. At hindi yun mawawala sa kanya. Ang madalian. May mga wrestler kasi dyan na hindi mo maseryoso as a goof. Kaya, pag alam mo nagsaseryoso sila, hindi sila effective. R-Truth is a different guy, no? If he turned heel, we might get a different outcome. Pero hindi, he's not a heel, he's a babyface. So, we are understanding that it works that we need to book him as a goof because we are being opposed by John Cena, which is the top heel in this role as we speak, no? In de facto, Cena is the heel. And we need to understand that on a easier perspective, in a easier manner, because it is what it is. We need also then to understand that parang alam mo yung pakiramdam when it comes to this issue, kung ano man yung nangyari when it comes to this things that was done. in this game, o kung ano man yung palabas na gagawin nila, or kung ano man yung impression that it was given to him. Pero iba pa rin yung pakiramdam, iba pa rin yung impression ko if we're just going to talk about this guy. So that's why there are some things that make sense, there are some things that it doesn't make sense, and that's one of them. Parang iba na rin yung pakiramdam ko at iba rin ang impression ko sa ibang pagkatingin mo doon sa harap at sa kung ano yung ipapakita mo din when it comes to this booking. So that's why it's dumb. So okay, move on tayo. So we have here Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes. So that was a rematch. That's a rematch, obviously, as we mentioned. Pero this time it was ended a no contest. Pero alam nyo kasi, ang ganda ng booking nila kay Miz ngayon at saka kay Melo, no? I would say this as it is. Sobrang effective ni Miz as a stooge that can eat losses na hindi naman magiging kawalan, no? I love it. I love it as a character for Miz. And a progression din kay Melo that he is a stooge that's being stooged by the Miz. So it works as a duo, no? Sana magtagal to for sure. Pero ito, Drew McIntyre came to the ring and gave a promo about facing Damian Priest in a steel cage match. So he promised that one of them will leave on a stretcher. Okay, focus nga tayo. Ito yung pinupuna ko about putting feuds in a proper manner, or sa madaling salita, putting things logically, no? I will talk about AEW. Ano ba tawag dito? We will talk about how pointless this AEW Anarchy in the Arena match might be. Pero I am very serious sa fact that they are booking these structures same as war games, na parang alam na natin na mangyayari yung war games, alam na natin yung mangyayari sa Anarchy. So nawawala yung mystique ng stipulation. At marami akong pag-uusapan mamaya when it comes to that. I'll talk about that later. Pero going back, Solo Sikoa versus Jamie Uso versus Rey Fenix. This is the first time that he got pinned to si Rey Fenix. The match is okay lang. Okay lang. I'm not expecting too much about this. So, parang na-call ko na rin to kanina na need ni Solo ng panalo para mag-progress yung story nila with Jacob Fatu. And I hope Solo lost this match, or sana matalo siya dito, obviously, para ma-establish siguro natin that the threat in the bloodline is now Jacob and not him. So that's an easier understanding on how things will progress in the next couple of days or weeks within this storyline doon sa bloodline. Madali, di ba? Madaling intindihin ang story ng WWE. You just have to follow too. Julia is being called out or called up to SmackDown as being announced by Nick Aldis this week. So, parang ang ganda ng detail, no? Tapos, na-split na rin sila ni Roxanne Perez. I hope we can see more of Julia. Yun. So, ano pa ba? Alam mo ko, parang nawiwirduhan ako every time WWE is mentioning how stable or reinforced their tables are. Especially these two members, two newer teams, about this whole thing, about this stooging thing. Tapos parang Kung kasurpresa ito, di okay. Kung hindi naman, di parang hindi na rin natin sineryoso yung booking na nangyayari about the progression and the progress that we got about this thing. So, if it's WWE who is actually establishing this feud for the bloodline, kagaya ng palagi ko sinasabi, we need to establish a thing. Oh, medyo OP na ako dito. Pero, it needs to be established that ang una nating i-establish dito is how we are going to progress the storyline. So, it should work if we know it will work. If it's not working, it should noted that it will not work. LA Knight versus JC Mateo. It's no longer Jeff Cobb, so things about that change. So, JC is kinda dominant. Pero, I am kinda double thinking why we have this match. Number one, why we got this match, and number two, why we have to make the change now. In-acknowledge din natin siya as Jeff Cobb, di ba? We acknowledge him as Jeff Cobb, so why we have to change his name? Parang ang labo. It doesn't make sense to me that we made these changes just to see how this thing will progress. Ang labo. Continue natin itong match na to. Let's continue this main event, of course, SmackDown. So, main event of SmackDown is obviously Tiffany Stratton over Nia Jax. This match is a little bit okay to me. I am not expecting too much about this match because it's a repeat of what we got months ago. And yes, I am saying this in a fact way. So we got this match a few weeks ago, and do you think I am still going to be buyed out on it? No, I'm not going to be buyed on this BS that we got. I love Tiffany Stratton, and I love Nia Jax too on her own right, but it doesn't make sense to me that we have to deal with this run and with this current run that we have. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes a point. I don't think it should be controlled on a different manner na dapat magsisense ito. Kaso hindi. I don't really make it sense. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes a point. I don't think we should focus on that. I don't think it should be the case. Pero, ayun nga, the match was brutal. That steel chair to the head of Nia basically fucked her up. Then, we got here Medical who pulled Tiffy out after of that show. Tapos yun na yun. I think the match should be better. Pero I am really optimistic when it comes to Tiffany Stratton that this should be the last time that they're going to face in a match. And wala na rin kasing saysay, wala na rin kasing apoy between Tiffy and Nia. So I think it doesn't really make sense now. Pero the whole last 5 minutes of this match, starting from that Naomi appearance, I think that was a perfect way on how we should end that show. So that thing makes sense to me. That really established something to allow us to progress when it comes to this thing, no? Kung hindi naman natin gagamitin ito for the progression of their talent, then I don't think it really makes sense, no? Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. Let's talk about AEW in a bit, and then we are going to share with you my thoughts on that, in the next couple of minutes. Yan. So, welcome back to the Main Event Mark Podcast. So, let's continue with AEW Dynamite. So, medyo binitin ko kayo kanina. Pasensya na. Kasi kailangan ko mag-CR. Yan lang yan. Pero yun, pag-usapan nga natin itong past few weeks for AEW. Kasi it's getting out of hand. Things are getting out of hand when it comes to booking either Osprey or Hangman Page. But let's talk about it. So this match or this segment was booked really well. By the way, I'm talking about the segment on May 7th. So basically before Backlash. So I think that we are forgetting that both of them has their respective stories, no? And si Will Ostrich, he is forgetting that he is also having his story, si Young Man, no? Pero eto, sabihin lang natin ang mabuti, no? They are booking a terrible story in a result of a terrible champion that they are going to face at All in Texas. But I still get why we are leaning to this match. This should be the main event, personally, no? This should be the main event match for Double or Nothing. I'm not going to accept any main events as I talk about the Anarchy in the Arena momentarily. Again, kagaya ng sinabi ko previously, I am really disappointed why AEW is really booking into this championship eliminators shit that they're booking. So that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous that they're booking this eliminator matches or eliminator matches. So I'm kind of disappointed on that. So that's getting out of hand also. That Tony Storm is getting booked on that, unlike kung ikukumpara natin kay Mercedes Moné. I'm not going to talk about the Nick Wayne Rhino thing because that's disrespecting. Then we have this three-way match. So Tony Khan is booking this matches terrible and terrible, no? Then Mercedes Moné, Jamie Hayter, this is getting awful as usual. Samoa Joe versus Claudio, in my opinion, hindi siya sulit kumbaga. Parang that's a kind of big regret that I watched this thing. Oo. Collision. Let's talk about Collision, a few minutes lang. Ricochet versus Angelico. Then we have this match. Then nag-focus si Ricochet kay Zack Gowen. Ewan ko, but it's just getting out of hand. This match is getting out of hand, and I don't like it. Then Bowens beating Johnson. The match was really good, I think so. Then this match between Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale from last week's Collision is also ridiculous, man. Walang progression yung mga stories dito. I don't know why we are getting this storylines. That's bullshit. Parang wala naman akong kailangan i-tackle dito sa buong show na to. So Daniel Garcia versus FTR, still bullshit. walang pagtutunguhan dito sa show na to, sa totoo lang. Last bit of things that I need to tackle here. So we are now going to talk about Beach Break, no? Beach Break is obviously in the Now Arena in Chicago. So parang andito na tayo sa obsession part. So we are building obsession after obsession. So we have Hangman Page and Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita and Josh Alexander. So this match, they're trying to sell us shit, no? They're trying to sell us shit 10 days before the pay-per-view. And I can't believe all of the people are actually riding into it. And I don't like it as an idea na magwo-work. I don't like it. I don't like it works. I don't think it will work. And I don't think it should be built at all. So it doesn't make sense to me that we have this thing or we have this stuff parang walang direction talaga. This is your match that doesn't have any direction. Then we have here Ricochet mocking Zack Gowen all throughout this match. And man, no. I'm not gonna finish reviewing this shit, man. I'm not gonna finish reviewing this shit. Sorry, I have to. Then we have here the Hurt Syndicate versus Top Flight. That's flat. That's flat as fuck. That's flat as in. Then ano pa ba? So we have here the MJF thing, still no answer. Then we have here MJF accepting or being accepted as the newest member of the Hurt Syndicate. Pero I don't really get it. It needs to happen, no? This segment is very straight up that we are just waiting for the answer on tatlo. Then they are agreeing to say yes to MJF as the newest member of the Hurt Syndicate. But I am sorry, this thing or this match that we are building in looks disastrous, no? It already rated a disaster on it. So obviously wala na silang magawa with MJF, wala na rin silang magawa with Hobbs. Wala na silang magawa with three of them easily. At sa Tyros na rin, sa Tag Tyros, wala na silang magawa. This just awful as fuck. And parang alam mo yun, sobrang butas nito booking na to. Then we have here another eliminator, Tony Storm versus Azami versus Mina Shirakawa versus Sky Blue. And Mina Shirakawa won the thing, so that's interesting to see. Pero wow, as in wow, parang alam mo yun, walang ganong update when it comes to the progression with parang labo. Tapos yes, Mina Shirakawa is all elite, so medyo in my opinion it's really impressive to see as well, no, na si Azami hindi naman siya all elite, so she's the guest basically. Then Mina temporary lang daw tong team. So Tony Khan na nag-tweet sa kanya na bakit daw ganun yung team ni Mina at dapat yun na lang daw isa nilagay nila. So it should be the case going forward. Then we have here FTR and Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. So what the fuck are we having here? Last thing up news. So we have here Jon Moxley versus Samoa Joe. It's a steel cage match. So this match is very pointless. Very pointless. So Willow Nightingale and Hobbs stop the Death Riders from interfering. Then Gabe Kidd Gabe Kidd is there just to progress the story, and I don't think it makes sense. Then we have here Death Riders taking advantage of the situation, hits him to the head. That's it. Then we have here Young Bucks to do more damage. Kenny Omega, Okada, the Elite again. It's getting awful. Swerve Strickland is here also. Then, ayun. So, they announced the Anarchy in the Arena. Medyo hindi pa nga klaro na ano yung mangyayari sa Anarchy in the Arena. It's going to be 7-on-7, 6-on-6, 5-on-5, standard 5-on-5. We don't know. We know how awful AEW is building these things. And we know then kung paano nga ba yung ma-justify itong stuff na to. So, promise talaga, we should see also Willow and Marina Shafir on this match. So, I hope we can see that too. Pero, I feel we are getting a disaster when it comes to this match, no? Then, Mike Bailey appeared on that segment as well. So, basically, he fought out Okada. Pero, this dynamite, tong dynamite na to is pointless. Main event lang yun dapat panoorin mo dito. It's very pointless, no direction. Again, it's an outlaw that we're booking. We have another 4-way. That's I don't think it makes sense. The Moxley Joe match was fine, but I don't really think it makes sense. Based on the outcome, si Gabe Kidd, questionable pa yung rason niya why he's here. And there's a lot of questions that needs to be answered soon as Wednesday. So, pwede natin puksain ang AEW after that. Then, mag-predictions na rin tayo, no? So, yun na lang muna. And I'm getting out of hand when it comes to these things that's happening in AEW in real time. Again, i-explain nga lang natin or i-understand lang natin ang sitwasyon that I don't think na AEW is now getting out of hand, no? These things is getting out of hand when it comes to these segments that we have, no? And it's getting out of touch also that seryoso ba tong kabalbalan na to na oo, parang alam mo yun, hindi ko alam why it needs to be taken seriously, why it needs to happen, why it needs to are you nuts bro? Parang wala na ako sa katinoan magsabi that this should be the case going forward. And ano ba natin itatakel itong stuff na to when it comes to AEW? Tapos parang we're getting questions rather than answers. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just gonna mute that. Yun. So there's a lot of questions rather than answers when it comes to these recent shows that we have here on AEW. And isa pang question natin, kasi sabihin ng iba dyan, masyado tayong double standards when it comes to AEW and pointing out what is the mistakes that AEW is doing when it comes to this PLE or pay-per-view. We are basically 10 days away from Double or Nothing, the biggest show of the year in my point of view. Aside from All in Texas, we should get better bookings when it comes to this PLE or show. I'm not expecting extravagant booking because I guess they're saving that for All In. Pero tangina naman, 10 days na lang, magwe-Wembley na tayo pagkatapos ulit nito. Tapos we're getting yet another booking that's awful and don't think it makes sense or it's really off the rails. It's getting odd and odd, above by beyond. Pero tandaan nyo lang, sabihin ko lang sa inyo that hindi tayo nagdo-double standards dito. Pero I find it awful, very awful to see AEW really stretching their asses when it comes to Anarchy in the Arena. So parang in-expect na kasi natin yung mangyayari. Same mga sa War Games, Survivor Series War Games, pag nangyayari, pag November, alam mo nang may War Games. Pag Hell in a Cell, typically June yan nangyayari, so alam na natin may ganyan. Yung mga ganyang stipulation, dapat ginagawa lang yan pag alam mong tinatawag siya ng booking or it's being called by its booking. Kagaya nito Drew versus Damian Priest, so it really makes sense to settle their feud in a steel cage. And it really makes sense that they have to settle their feud on that manner. But it doesn't mean that every feud that's made in WWE needs to be settled or justified based on their bookings. AEW also did a really good job on using their structures and stipulations. Well, CM Punk versus MJF, I think they did a really good job on that. But everything other than that is getting out of rails, getting out of hand when it comes to their booking. And it's getting out of hand. It's terrible booking, man. Terrible. Yun lang muna. I think wala tayong magagawa. May isa pa namang shows si AEW. We can talk about it during the live stream. Again, magla-live ako Friday 10 PM onwards sa Facebook or sa YouTube ng Main Event. Still undecided to saan tayo magla-live, pero most likely bibigyan ko kayo ng update as soon as we have the details finalized. Pero yun, it should be next Friday, and then i-release natin siya as audio format on the next day. So with that said, thank you very much for listening on the Main Event Mark. Follow the podcast again on all social media platforms at Main Event Mark PW. And then yun, mag-release pa tayong isa pang episode this week, which is our Queen of the Ring review. Please stay tuned into that. Bibigyan ko kayo ng update pag na-release na din siya sa social media platforms ng Main Event Mark. With that said, happy anniversary to the Main Event in advance. And yun na lang muna. Stay safe, stay raso. See you on the next episode on the Main Event Mark. Bye for now.